Hi learners, you are welcome to our fifth lesson in science, and we are still considering the topic energy and the unit conversion and conservation of energy. Now this will be our very last lesson, and we are looking at the following objectives. 1. Discuss the effects of increasing human population on the demand for energy. Discuss the effects of increasing human population on the demand for energy. Then 2. Discuss various ways of conserving energy. Discuss various ways of conserving energy. 3. Discuss the effects of using old electrical gadgets on energy conservation. Discuss the effects of using old electrical gadgets on energy conservation. So now we'll start with the first one. Now look at the situation here. This is a highly populated, area in Africa, and we want to look at the effect of high population on the demand for energy. So what do you think will be some of the effects? Okay, the first has to do with high cost of living. There will be high cost of living. As people are increasing in number, so will the demand for energy be high. Now, a country or the world over depends much on non-renewable source of energy like crude oil and natural gas and the rest. And these non-renewable sources are usually limited in supply. But with the increasing number of people but limited supply of non-renewable source of energy, there is going to be possibility of increasing prices of this source of energy, and that will negatively affect the populace. Our cost of living will be very high. We'll pay much for small amount of energy. So that's one effect of high population on the demand for energy. The next one has to do with population. Now, with increasing number of people using the non-renewable source of energy, there is an increased rate of pollution. So, what do we mean by pollution? Now, vehicles use petrol, diesel, gas, and in turn release fumes, smoke into the environment. And even the extraction of oil in water bodies also bring about oil spillage, which pollutes the water bodies. So not only pollution of the air, but pollution of the water bodies. Next has to do with global warming. Now, you may ask, what is global warming? Global warming occurs as an increase in the Earth's temperature due to the trapping of heat by gases. So as we keep on using these non-renewable sources of energy, gases such as carbon dioxide will be released so much, and these gases tend to trap the heat on the Earth's surface, preventing it from escaping to space. So when the heat accumulates on the Earth's surface, it increases the Earth's temperature, leading to global warming, all due to overpopulation and the high demand on energy. I hope you understand. Then the third one has to do with acid rain. Again, most of these fuels that are burnt in factories and in cars release sulfur dioxide nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide, and all these gases, as they move high up in the sky, they combine with condensed water vapor in the atmosphere to form acid rain. So the water becomes acidic, and acid rain also has so much effect on the earth surface, destroying plant and animal life, and also causing corrosion of walls, paints, and the rest. So these are the effects of high population on the demand of energy. We have more, and can you think of some other effects? I hope you do. Now let's move on to look at ways of conserving energy. Ways of conserving energy. Ways of conserving energy. So what are we looking at under this sub-unit? Before we look at ways of conserving energy, let us delve into the meaning of energy conservation. Energy conservation. So what is energy conservation? We're saying that it refers to wise management and protection of energy sources to avoid wastage and reduce cost. It refers to wise management and protection of energy sources to avoid wastage and reduce cost. In other words, it is the efforts made to reduce the consumption of energy by using less of an energy service. It is the effort made to reduce the consumption of energy by using less of an energy service. So with this, shall we now delve into ways of conserving energy? So move on with the first one. We are advised to use energy-saving bulbs or LED fitted lamps. Gone were the days when we were using less efficient bulbs. The yellow one, it's wastes so much electrical energy. Then later it was replaced with a fluorescent bulb, and now today we have LED fitted lamps and the rest. So in order to minimize the cost of energy, we need to use energy saving bulbs. 2, learn to close all doors and windows when using the air conditioner. Okay, air conditioner tends to use more power when the doors and windows are open, because they try to cool the outside air as well as the inside air. So that's one way of conserving energy. 3, replace or repair old electrical gadgets. It is believed that old electrical gadgets, because of the aging components, tend to lose so much energy when in operation. So we need to, repair old electrical gadgets, or better still, replace them with new ones, just to conserve energy. And then the 4th one, we are saying that we should learn to iron clothes in bulk. Iron clothes in bulk. Now, the moment you plug in the electric pressing iron and put it on, remember it registers a very high power usage. Now, if you should continue using that power usage for multiple clothes ironing, you are likely to conserve energy. But if you iron one dress without power, and the next time you plug the pressing iron to iron another dress, you are going to use double the power used before. So for example, if the first iron uses 1000 watts, if you plug the iron again, you're going to use another 1000 watts, and that makes it 2000 watts. But if you iron in bulk, you're going to use just 1000 watts or something something above the 1000 watts to iron several clothes. So that is why it's advisable to iron in bulk. Then the fifth one, we're saying that we should try, as governments, individuals, use more renewable sources of energy, which are relatively cheaper, like the use of solar panel to harness energy from the sun. It's relatively cheaper. The windmill to harness energy from the wind and the like, instead of heavily depending on fuel, natural gas, which are very expensive. So these are some of the ways of, conserving energy. Hope you have more to give. Now let's move on to the very last objective for today. Effect of using old electrical gadgets on energy conservation. Effect of using what? Old electrical gadgets on energy conservation. Now, looking at the picture very well, we have, it might look discarded electrical gadgets which are old. Some will be operational, some subject to repair, and the rest. Now, if you continue using this, remember that the components in them have, grown old, and hence they use more energy. So we are advising that you try and reduce the use of old electrical gadgets. If possible, replace them with new ones just to conserve energy. Why? Because of the following effects that old electrical gadgets will have on what? Energy conservation. So the first one we're looking at, again, high cost of living. There will be high cost of living. Why? Because you will tend to pay more for the use of electricity or energy use whenever you're using old electrical gadgets, and that will increase your cost of living. Okay. Then 2, again, there will be pollution of the environment. Let me ask this question: a new car and an old car, which of them tend to produce more fumes? Good, the old ones, because the engine becomes weak, and the rate of combustion or burning of fuel also, becomes less effective, and hence the fuel does not burn well, and more fumes are released into the atmosphere, causing what? Pollution of the environment. So that is another effect of old, electrical gadgets or even vehicles on the environment. Then we have, there will be high risk of accidents, such as lorry accidents and electric shock. Now, imagine you are using one old electrical gadget like the blender or the kettle, which has been used severally and is growing weaker each day. What happens? You are exposed to what? Accidents or electric shock when you are using such gadgets. So that is another effect of using old electrical gadgets. Now let's move on to our summary. Now, by way of summary, we learned today that energy in demand will become very high when the population is also what? High. So we look at the effect of high human population on what? Demand for energy. Then we look at ways of conserving what? Energy. Ways of conserving energy. Then lastly, we look at the effects of using old electrical gadgets or devices such as cars on energy conservation. Hope you have learned something useful today, and this marks the end of conservation and conversion of energy. Take your time and revise all the notes and be prepared for our advanced learning. And then advanced learning, we are saying that make effort to read on light energy. So our next topic is light energy. Light energy. Okay, we are bringing an end to our lesson. This lesson appears longer than the earlier one, and I hope you have been able to learn all you can. Thanks for your patience. Do the work in time and submit or upload it onto the page for me to access. Till we meet again, stay safe. Bye.